The way I like to think of the finance and stakeholder ecosystem is kind of like this beautiful picture of this, diver over a reef. You see all the plants and the corals and the fish and everything working together. And you realize, the ocean's health does really lie below the surface. And your company is really no different. Your finance and stakeholder system is kind of like your company's reef. You want to make sure that it's healthy and that everything is fitting together and everything's in harmony. And then that allows you to concentrate on the stuff that's really important to your business, which in my experience for startups is sales and cash. And those are really the two most important things for you when you're starting out. You don't want to be distracted by, back office stuff that's not working well. So how do you assemble a finance and stakeholder ecosystem? You're probably gonna laugh and say, well, it starts with accounting because the guy's a CPA. Well, yes, I am a CPA, but not really anymore because I work more in finance. But I have to say that your accounting system in the beginning, it's kind of like, going back to some of my medical school training. This is your spinal column. This is the thing off of which your nervous system operates. This is the thing all your muscles operate off. This is the thing that, your entire existence operates. And if you've ever had back pain, it's something you can't run away from. So just like if you have back pain, if you have accounting pain, it's not something you can really run away from. So getting that accounting system set up first right is hugely important. And then the next thing that comes out of that almost immediately is how are you forecasting? How many times do you go in front of investors or a board or somebody and they want to know, okay, that's what's happening today, that's your accounting system, but what's going to happen in the next 6 months? What's going to happen in the next 18 months? And however out you need to look. So sooner or later, you get a budgeting and forecasting tool to go along with it. And then really important, especially in our industry, like I said, is those ever important SaaS metrics. Making sure that you're capturing your sales information correctly, that you're reporting it out correctly, not just for the accounting, but also for your growth. Are you losing customers quickly? Are you retaining them? If you're retaining them, are you growing them? So there's a lot of stuff that's not going to be available in your accounting system, in your budgeting and forecasting, but you do need a machine that's going to do all your SaaS metrics. So that to us, that's kind of what we call the financial core. That's the beginning of everything, is this kind of triad of the accounting, the budgeting, and the SaaS metrics piece, and making sure those are set up solidly so that they talk to each other, they're integrated in ways where it's click of button or it's automatic sync, where they're using the same language so that you're not saying, well, our SaaS metric system says X, but accounting and finance says Y. And then people are scratching their heads why they're different. You don't want that because that's a total waste of time and can also be really embarrassing. I'm reminded of an example of a customer that I came into who was basically using the accounting system to calculate their ARR. And they had tried to implement actually SaaS Optics, and they hadn't really gotten very far with it because they were too busy with other stuff. And again, this kind of happens as you get too busy with things like sales and development. And so one of the people was putting together the ARR on a spreadsheet. And if you've ever tried to do that, you realize immediately how difficult that is. The long and short is that using that accounting kind of based information and not a true SaaS machine, they had overestimated or overmeasured their ARR by a third. And that's a pretty big whiff when you're going in front of a board and saying, our ARR is this, and then to find out later after things are cleaned up, it's actually down here. That's never a situation you ever want to be put into as a leader or, as an investor, nor do you want to hear something like that. So that's why we talk about having these systems talk to each other is so important.